What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE recently trying to re-sign multiple release superstars at lower pay, The Rock calls out Donald Trump, a WWE Hall of Famer blames Nia Jax, Sonny's latest stupidity, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos. Now hit the intro because it's now time for the news. Now our first story looks at a report of WWE recently trying to re-sign multiple release wrestlers but at a fraction of what they were previously earning. April 15th will always be a day to remember in the WWE as they released over 37 superstars and furloughed 9 producers and other staff. This was because they were making cutbacks in the company. Since then, a few superstars like the FTR, Deonna Purrazzo, and one other superstar that we'll mention later on have actually all signed with promotions. Impact Wrestling hinted at other superstars joining the promotion, including Doc Gallows, Arn Anderson, Eric Young, Drake Maverick, EC3, Micah Maria Kanellis, and Kurt Hawkins, as they were all used in the 2020 Slammiversary promo. Now it's interesting that WWE has actually reached out to some of those former superstars, but interestingly, they've lowballed them with a much lighter contract. As in, lighter contract in pay. Brian Alvarez mentioned on the Wrestling Observer Live that, I don't know who's coming, but I can tell you this, there have been people who have been released from WWE, and they have been offered deals to come back, and the offers for them to return are a fraction of what they were making. What this means is that the idea that some of these wrestlers would choose not to go to Impact because they were waiting for more money to go back to the WWE, the offers that I've seen, we may be seeing a fair number of people showing up at Impact. What if you were that superstar? Would you take the lower pay cut in these uncertain times, or would you hold out for hopefully another promotion to reach out, or maybe the WWE offering you more in a contract? Let us know in the comments down below. The recently released Leo Rush mentioned on Twitter, "Man, are they gonna hire everyone back then? Kind of a slap in the face to use this as a shoot work, but I guess I'm not surprised. Super happy for anyone getting their job back. But damn, real trauma and a lot of others were a part of this." Next up was WWE's firing of Drake Maverick faked? Now in case you missed the 3rd June NXT, El Hijo del Fantasma defeated Drake Maverick in the finals to become interim NXT Cruiserweight Champion. The storyline was that Maverick needed to win the belt to stay in the WWE after his release on Black Wednesday. Good news for Maverick, however, as Triple H came out and gave him a WWE contract. While the contract was no surprise for Maverick, it was a good way to build his release and a subsequent return into an engaging storyline. Triple H spoke on the hiring after in a teleconference to promote NXT TakeOver in Your House. He mentioned when the release happened, it wasn't like he was involved in anything, so it just happened the way it did. Through the process of this tournament, he captured people's hearts. He captured their imagination and he earned that spot, and it was already out there in the biggest way possible, so you either ignore it or you turn it into something. Turn it into something he most certainly did. After the show, Drake Maverick opened up his heart to the NXT universe, giving an emotional promo. But reporter David Bixenspan wasn't too happy with this. He mentioned they literally tweeted a promo where he explicitly, tearfully says that the other people who got laid off weren't seizing the opportunity like he did. WWE's corporate ghoulishness laid bare for everyone but the cult of personality that pretends they can do no wrong. Many people are suggesting that this whole thing sounds like a work from the start. Not so sure about that. His emotions looked totally legit the day of the firing. Don't think WWE could ever go so low to do that, especially with other superstar firings that were clearly real. Next up, The Rock calls out Donald Trump. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson seems to have a message for President Donald Trump. In an Instagram video, the People's Champion, who of course doesn't reference Trump directly but asks his president, "Where are you?"
Where are you? Where is our leader? Where are you? Where is our leader at this time? At this time when our country is down on its knees, begging, pleading, hurt, angry, frustrated, in pain, begging and pleading with its arms out, just wanting to be heard.
While we can't mention the entire message as it's about 8 minutes long, we encourage you to watch the video, which also includes the following passionate plea.
Where is our compassionate leader who's going to step up to our country, who's down on its knees and extend a hand and say, you stand up. Stand up with me. Stand up with me because I got you. I got you. I got you. I hear you. I'm listening to you. And you have my word that I'm going to do everything in my power and until my dying day, my last breath, to do everything I can to create the change that is needed to normalize equality because Black lives matter. Where are you?
Many WWE superstars have talked about the current protests in the US, but The Rock is arguably the one with the most fame to reach the biggest audience. Honestly, at this rate, if The Rock ran for president, he'd certainly get our vote. Well, that is if we lived in the US. But if The Rock ever ran for presidency, would you actually vote for him? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, Jaxson Ryker's latest debacle. Jaxson Ryker just can't seem to stay out of the news, and it's for nothing good. You no doubt recall how Ryker was criticized for a 2019 social media tweet discussing that Black Lives Matter garbage. Jaxson Ryker's own sister doesn't even agree with his political views. His sister wrote underneath, "It's sad I had to get onto Twitter and see that my own biological blood brother agrees with the BS that comes out of Donald Trump's shite all over his mouth. I'm officially ashamed. Same mother, different father. I stand with my black brothers and sisters on this." She went on further to say, "That's right, Jaxson Ryker has a black sister by blood, and he condones the buffoonery that splurges from Trump's mouth." Perhaps sensing the incoming social media storm, Ryker has gone incognito with WrestlingNews.co reporting, "As this writing, Ryker's Twitter and Instagram accounts are now set to private, and it appears that he's now done the same with his private Facebook account under his real name Chad Lale." This comes on the day when fans discovered a 2017 post where he was seen with a dark tan as he referred to himself as Soul Man. Some social media posts have speculated that Ryker may have been referring to the 1986 film Soul Man, where a white man impersonates a black man in order to obtain a scholarship for black students. Next up, a WWE Hall of Famer blames Nia Jax. Now, Nia Jax has not been very favourable in the fans' eyes, as her continued sloppiness in the ring injuring WWE superstars has come under fire. This week on Raw, Kairi Sane took a nasty bump at the hands of Nia Jax, cutting her head against the steel steps. WWE Hall of Famer Bubba Ray Dudley spoke on Busted Open Radio and analysed this spot in detail. He mentioned, "Nia grabbed Kairi by the back of the head. Just with her sheer force, momentum, Kairi's head was down. If you have a woman the size and strength of Nia taking the size and strength of Kairi and begin the movement of pushing somebody forward with their head already down, the body is going to follow the head. I don't know if it was Kairi's fault of having her head down already, or if Nia's force pushed Kairi's head down, the force of shooting Kairi into the stairs. I don't think Kairi was able to take her own bump." Like we mentioned in our previous news video, some people behind the scenes are calling for Nia Jax's firing, as she seems to be making one too many mistakes and is deemed reckless in the ring. Next up, Arn Anderson is all elite. Congratulations to Arn Anderson, who AEW has recently announced has signed a multi-year deal with the promotion. The founding member of the legendary Four Horsemen stable has been serving as Cody's coach for the last year or so, and had this to say about his signing. "About a year ago, I didn't want to be anywhere where I'm not wanted. A year later, it seems I am wanted somewhere, and I'm very happy to say today I signed a multi-year contract with AEW. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here with all this young talent and watch this company blossom into being the platinum of all our industry." AA worked as a producer in the WWE from 2001 to 2019, only to be fired abruptly. The reason remains the subject of speculation, but Anderson has stated he cannot comment on the terms due to a non-disclosure agreement. Or whatever the reason for his departure, Anderson has proved to be a tremendous asset for AEW due to his experience and ability to cut promos. Next up, news on AEW Fyter Fest. All Elite Wrestling has released news on its 2020 Fyter Fest show. Last year's Fyter Fest aired for free on Bleacher Report's BR Live streaming service, but this year's show will air on TNT on 2 nights, the 1st July and 8th July beginning at 8 PM. And so far AEW isn't promoting it as too big for one night. AEW has revealed that every title will be on the line, and as of this writing, Jon Moxley will defend the AEW World Heavyweight Championship against Brian Cage, while Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega will defend their AEW World Tag Team Championship against Best Friends. Next up, WWE Network removes free month for new subscribers. The WWE Network has had an offer for new subscribers to get a free month of the network, with some fans using this to watch WrestleMania or other major shows without paying. However, this is apparently a thing of the past. The WWE Network now has a free tier, which WrestlingNews.co notes it allows fans without a subscription to have access to a vast portion of its content library for free with no credit card required. Content such as original series, Raw Talk, recent episodes of WWE's flagship programs, select historical WWE pay-per-views and NXT TakeOver events, and more are available. This is an interesting move, as some critics have argued the free month offer was used by the WWE to bump up the number of subscriptions around the time of WrestleMania. The WWE could claim an increase in its subscribers during the quarterly earnings report that includes Mania without mentioning some of these were unpaid subscriptions by people looking to watch the Showcase of the Immortals. Next up, CM Punk wasn't a fan of the Jeff Hardy storyline. And one of the most controversial storylines in wrestling today is the WWE using real-life issues into their storyline, that being Jeff Hardy's DUI arrest. Appearing on WWE Backstage, CM Punk mentioned that WWE shouldn't be incorporating these real-life issues into storylines. He mentioned, "To me it's the responsibility of the writers, promoter, whoever to get in front of that and say, no, we're not doing this to Jeff again, we don't need him to be in this position. I think cleaning your life up and being sober is something to be proud of, and we can champion that in different ways. I think this is the wrong way to go about it. You just don't put him in front of that moving car." He carried on to say, "We all know about Jeff's past and his problems. My thing with this segment and this story is that I believe someone's sobriety is very important and very fragile. We think Punk is 100% spot on. Real life issues like this shouldn't be incorporated into storylines." And finally, an Impact star responds to an insult by Sunny. Sunny just doesn't know when to quit, as seen by her recent tweet about Impact star Jordynne Grace. Since when does TNA Impact, whatever you want to call that shit, have a division for short, fat, ugly non-knockouts? I'm so happy they are an equal opportunity employer, even though they pay that shit. Grace gave a succinct reply, "Y'all really think I care about being called short and fat? I graduated middle school a long time ago, faced with tears of joy." Ugh, Sunny, when will she ever stop? Woman is crying out for attention. But there you have it guys, the latest news and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.